computer is not like whistling at me at this point. Jeez. It should be. Roughing and thugging. Do, 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 do. I mean, let me see. I don't even the details of the live stream here on Patreon is this Terabyt goes live. That's it. So crazy. I almost started it. So yeah, but this is crazy. Let's see what happens. Actually start streaming. Okay. Is it steady? Um, I'm just gonna. I'm just testing some stuff today. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that because my for some reason, because of all the rain, because of all the rain that's been going on and stuff. Because right now things are not really steady. But I do see your message, casual. I don't know if you can hear me. You probably can. Should be able to. Yeah. But I do see your message. Don't worry about that though. I really enjoyed the first episode of Homeland. That's why I'm trying to watch more. You know, I honestly like overall. Let me see if I can come on camera because my internet is acting a little crazy today. It's kind of fluctuating a bit. You're getting an echo. Um, I think it's because I'm streaming on Patreon. I didn't have it muted. Is it better now? Should be better now. Let me see. Also not muted. Let me see. Okay, I was muted on Kick here. So I'm trying to stream to pretty much 4 platforms right now, and it's not that my internet is bad. It's just that rain. It rained practically like I'm talking about. It's been raining every day for the past like 2 weeks or so. I think something has happened to the internet. I don't think I'm gonna have a stable stream today if I decide to go ahead with it. Um, every let me get on camera. Let me see if I can get on camera here. Let's see what we got. Okay. I'm actually surprised that my computer ain't like singing, like the fan and nothing. The computer is. That's what I'm saying, man. A lot of times you go out and you go get all of this expensive stuff and put in your PC, and you don't even really need it. What, for a couple of extra frames? Like, come on, man. Right. So, um, what I need, as I said, I saw your message there. Um, I enjoyed Homeland, man. There's stuff, there's other stuff that I need to figure out. It's just that because of Halloween being um, the entire weekend for the past 3 days, um, I don't expect a lot of people to be around, right? Um, that's just the thing of it, right? See, the thing about it is this: if I enjoy something, like especially when it comes on to a new show, especially when it comes on to new shows suggested on the channel, usually what happens is, if I watch the pilot for something because it was suggested, usually what happens is more times than not I'll end up watching the show immediately, right? Because if I don't, then I'm gonna come back to it later and I'm going to completely forget what happened. So, or I'm gonna have to rewatch the episode, right? Um, in most cases, I usually end up watching the show immediately, right? Even if I'm going to watch it offline and upload episodes, that's what usually happens, right? Because I just recently started watching stuff on stream. So usually what happens is I'll check out the show. I like the premise or whatnot. What did it get bad or something? Why did you stop watching it? Um, the situation is really wild, right? Of course, I would love for me to be here sitting down, streaming, to a lot of people. But unfortunately, the problem is this: I am trying to find a time. I used to stream at night because I figured, okay, people come home from work, people can just come chill with me Saturday night, right? But that turns out to be a problem. I honestly don't know when to stream. I can't find a time that vibe with a lot of people. It's like people seem to be too busy because they're not children. Like people who cater to children, right? People who cater to children, they don't have this issue because most kids, right? They go to school, in the day they're home by 2, 3 o'clock most of the time, right? They're home by 2, 3 o'clock. Sometimes later if they, they have to wait on their parents to pick them up from school. So streamers who their audience are kids, anywhere from, you know 12 through 18, right? You will notice that most of those streamers, they're going to be super successful, right? They're going to be super successful because kids are watching them, right? Kids have all the time in the world to watch them, right? Most of the most successful streamers that you watch right now is not adults, is not their audience, right? Adults is not their main audience. I'm not saying that adults don't watch them. I'm saying that if you look at their demographics, right, you're gonna notice that it's teenagers that watch them mostly teenagers, right? Um, because teenagers have pretty much all the time in the world, right? They do their schoolwork, whatever, or not, right? And they go watch them, right? I don't really cater to that audience because teenagers are not. I feel like teenagers are gonna get bored watching somebody like me because I'm not jumping. I don't have fucking ADHD. Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm a grown ass 40-year-old man. That'll be jumping out of my seat every 2 seconds. Um, can't sit down. You're all over the place, and I get it. Young people, they can do that. Bouncing off the wall every 2 seconds, right, is quite fine. They can do that. They are in their prime, and I can't force myself to be something that I'm not. Are there guys that are around my age that are successful? Yes, because they try to cater to that younger audience as well. If you look at the more, I'm trying to find an example. It's not many streamers that are as old as me that are like widely successful. You hear about them. Not much. Because most people don't want to have, they don't want to have mature conversations. Um, so as far as I see, I am planning to pivot eventually, not from reactions, but overall what I do on YouTube. I am planning to pivot because I realize that more than likely I'm just not gonna get the audience that I want when it comes on to reacting to the content that I reacting to TV shows and stuff like that is cool, and I'm slowly going to transition into doing something else on YouTube, um, and having different kind of conversations and stuff like that, right? I'm slowly going to transition into something else because um, I believe, as I said, I'm not gonna stop doing reactions. Still gonna do those. Still gonna do the method that that I'm doing right now. Just continue to do that. Whatever. It's easy. Doing that, and whatever comes from it comes from it. I'm just not gonna look towards that as my um, main content later on, and I'm having plans to do that next year somehow. Somehow I'm gonna transition into something else, start a new YouTube channel, doing something different. Maybe it'll still be in the reaction sphere, but reacting to different kind of content, right? Um, well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I have plans. I am making plans to do things differently because, um, yeah, that's just, you know, what I'm into, I guess. So overall, as I said, um, I know, I know right now you know, having a good time with the reaction um, stuff, and also with the stream today, it's looking, but it's not like my stuff is fluctuating, and I know it's because something, and I already called in my IP. Um, to let them know, so they're coming to check out the stuff to make sure that everything is good. Because as I said, it's been raining for like 2 weeks straight now. So I don't know what's going to happen when it comes on to the internet from last night. Been kind of fluctuating with the speeds and stuff like that, and it still was doing that. But I said, let me go live, see what happens, add the Patreon as well, and see what goes on. So I might end up, to be honest, not doing anything today, um, because I don't think it's gonna stay stable. I don't think it's going to stay stable for very long, and I don't want to go through the frustration of, oh, somebody comes into the stream and it's, you know, and it's like crazy delays and stuff like that. So I don't think I'm gonna continue to stream today. I am planning to add more days in the week, but I am going to do polls both on the YouTube channel, both what I'm saying, the YouTube channel, Patreon. Um, I don't think I can do polls if I'm not live on Twitch or Kick. So I'll do the poll on Patreon, ask them, and also on YouTube to see, what time is best for people, these adults, that they would come and check out the stream, because people are busy, and I completely understand that, right? I completely understand. Like, people are, at least in America, people get in trouble for watching live streams at work and stuff like that. You know, I'm not trying to get people fired. I'm just not. So as I said, man, I do have reactions to do today. Who is this? Man, people just, we're just, okay, let's delete that chat. Um, I do. Why do the thing about it is, why is botting so prevalent? Why do people bot? Do you feel good? But when you bot, when you're streaming, and your viewer count is 1,000 and nobody is chatting, like I don't understand why bot. How about you just work hard and gain your audience organically? You know what I'm saying? Like, these people who come in and they offer this stuff, or whether it's a bot, whether it's a real person that offers to bot your stream, right? Oh, I can introduce it to an audience. It's just like, they're not real people. And I know. And the thing about it is, like, some people are dumb enough to think that, oh, is you just gonna introduce me to a bunch of people who's just gonna sit there and have no interest in what I do? Like, how is that? How is that great, right? How is that great? So, as I said, man, it seems I got the Patreon set up and it seems to be working fine. Good, at least, good enough, right? So, as I said, I don't want to have that trouble of my internet being, not stable and dealing with that. So, what I'm going to do is, I should be good for tomorrow. Should be good. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow, but I should be good. My internet should be stabilized and good by tomorrow. I know the internet guy he's coming later today. So we'll see how that shit goes, right? So yeah, man. But don't worry about it, bro. I'm not. I didn't make the decision based on the fact that you counting on you to show up or anything like that. It's just usually when I watch a show and I like it, I wanna just get into it because you know who knows. I have to start a new C drama like today or tomorrow because I just finished one on Patreon. So I have a ton of reactions that I need to get done as well. Um, it's just that as I said, I was trying things out to see if things were gonna stay stable, but I also don't want to take the risk as well. So at least I jump on for a few minutes here and let you guys know what's going on if anybody pulled up. Um, so yeah, it's still raining. It's still raining like every day here in Miami. So I don't know what's you know, but as I said, internet people coming out today to come check it out, see what's going on. Um, and then yeah, I guess if you don't see me for the rest of the week, we will be back here on Saturday. At the very least, but I'll keep you guys posted. Keep things fresh and new. All right, so I appreciate you, man, for coming through. At least let me know what you're thinking. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, but I'll probably, if I'm not going to do a Homeland during stream, I'm probably going to do it offline anyways, because it's very interesting. Because I'm planning to add new shows to the reaction rotation anyways, because now I have more time. I don't have to worry about editing stuff, so I can not only react more, I can upload more, way more often on YouTube because I don't have to edit those videos anymore. So videos dropping on YouTube, even though I know that most people are not gonna like the format, eventually I think they'll get used to it, because people want to watch the reaction with the filters on YouTube. There is an audience that's there for that, but you know, a lot of times most people complain about the filter. Do have those people that are gonna complain about the filter anyways. But because editing was taking up so much of my time, I'm talking like for each video 2 to 3 hours editing, right? It's too tedious for me. It's taken away from sleep I need to get because literally outside of that, I have no time to do anything, when it comes on to content creation. So I literally was using sleeping time to edit videos, and I'm already not necessarily stressed, but working so hard. I'm trying to retire, right? I'm trying to retire from everything by the time I'm 45. So, 5 more years. In 5 years, I should literally only be doing, content creation. This is the only thing I want to be doing. Like everything else that I'm doing right now, you know, you know, um, outside of YouTube to, make money, whatever. I want to be done with all of it, and that's why I'm pushing myself so hard to get to a certain monetary goal so that I can be like, okay, I have these things going on that's doing creating passive income for myself, so I can stop doing them or have other people manage them, and I just sit back, relax, you know, possibly for the rest of my life. That would be good, right? Possible ban evader? Who's trying to come back in here? What is? People are crazy, bro. Ban evader? How the hell are they doing that? right? So that's really where my headspace is at. So if I get to 45, right? If I get to 45 and I can relax, just do content, at that point, cool. Hopefully something comes out of YouTube, something comes out of Patreon that's, sustainable, and I don't have to say, this was, did it for what? At that point it would be somewhere around 10 years or more. No, it would be more than that. Almost 15 years at that point that I would be and if something comes out of it, something comes out of it. If not, cool. I might continue doing it. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, as the kids would say, sometimes you got to put the fries in the bag, bro. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to put the fries in the bag. I'm just saying, right? And just call it a day. You can't keep doing something, and if you're not like seeing any kind of succession out of it, you keep doing it, right? So that was the goal from the get go. I was like, I'm gonna do this until I'm around 45 years old, and if something comes out of it, something comes out of it. If not, you know what I'm saying? I never wanted YouTube or content creation to become a job. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, if you treat it like a job, right? Even though I think that, there's a lot of people who are successful doing streaming, YouTube, whatever, that they take it for granted. And also, some people, in my opinion, doesn't deserve it. Because look at the amount of scandals that comes out about a lot of these people. And the thing about it is, like, a lot of people that they just be honest, your audience doesn't know, right? That's just the crux of it. The audience doesn't, they don't know, right? They don't know. So it's not on them, right? It's not on them. It's really on the person themselves to, I see, a lot of streamers, stuff comes out about them, they get exposed, and all of this other stuff. It's like, yeah, there's, people are people. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes a lot of this stuff is overblown and exaggerated, and I've talked about a lot of this stuff on stream before. I said sometimes you make the wrong people famous, and that's not the audience fault, right? It's not the audience fault. A lot of time it's just, you know um, people are, you know they're not authentic, right? They're not authentic to, the privilege of being able to sit in front of a camera and make money. And some people just straight up, some streamers, they just don't care. That's the whole thing, right? Some of them just don't care. Some of them know they could give two shits if you, um, you know, if you care about them or not, right? And they'll make millions of dollars, right? They'll make millions of dollars off of these, as I said, the kids, because it's insane. It's insane. The people who are out here speaking the truth, they don't really get the FaceTime like that because people don't want to hear the truth. They don't. A lot of the higher end streamers, right? They're very milk toast. They don't talk about anything real, right? It's just all about, you know, whatever is in the mainstream. That's what they'll give their takes. Sometimes, or most of the time, I should say, very horrible takes, because they don't educate themselves about anything. I mean, I guess you could point to the fact that they're young. They don't really know. Um, but when I'm over here and I'm talking about real shit, right? Whether whether we're watching a show and I give my perspective on what's going on, And I always try to make sure there's a lesson in there because I don't want to waste people's time, right? I don't want to waste people's time. See, I like when when it's somebody like you, like casual, right? I like when people, if I'm watching a show, somebody's asking questions like what would I do, or how do I see what's going on, because you can draw a lot of parallels from what you're watching. It's just that people look at this stuff a lot of times and they think it's just entertainment. It's like, yes, it's entertainment, but you got to understand, like, a lot of this stuff is coming from a real place. A lot of it is based in some form of truth. Like, even if it's fantasy that you're watching, right? A lot of the stuff is fiction, and even if it's that, it still provides, right? It still provides a lot of perspective for you to look at it and be like, you know, what kind of impact can this have on my personal life, right? It doesn't have to. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I can tell you that, as I've gotten older, I realize that, for the most part, you sit down and you watch a show. Full season used to be 24 episodes of a show. You just spend 24 possibly hours of your life watching something, and you're looking at it as just entertainment. I think that's a lot of time that you can take. I'm not saying to stop watching this stuff. I'm saying watch it, get the entertainment, but also try to get something out of it other than just the entertainment. Get a life lessons, because a lot of this stuff is trying to teach you something, right? Um, it's not always gonna be great, but to have a perspective, right? It's not. Sometimes it's a bad lesson to be learned, right? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's an agenda being pushed inside the TV show that you're watching, which is, and it's kind of up to you as to not just watch it as entertainment at that point, because if you realize that there's an agenda, call it out. You know, call it out. That's why, you know what I mean. That's why that's what I use a platform to do. Is exactly, it's just like, okay, maybe somebody doesn't see this perspective of what's being shown in the show, or I can relate it to something, right? Like, I'm watching one of the most relatable shows right now, which is Queen of Tears, which is, it's like my life in an alternate universe. It's crazy how relatable that show is to how my life went when it comes on to that part of it, right? That part of my life, my romantic life over the last, I want to, when I was married, got divorced, all this other stuff, right? Like, it's such a relatable show, right? And it's really up to us when we watch this stuff, right? To really take what we can get from it, right? One of the most influential shows, over my life very early was an anime, right? Because from coming from homelessness and all of this other stuff, and feeling down about myself, like I was never going to achieve anything, and then I was introduced to this anime and seeing this main character, the attitude, all the struggles that this character went through, and was still saying, I'm gonna be this, right? No matter what I go through, I'm gonna stay the course and be this. And that influenced me tremendously, right? Because I looked at it a bit like, you know what? I can be like this. I was never like this. Nobody taught me how to be this way, right? Never had anybody in my life to really tell me you can achieve anything you set your mind to. All this other stuff. Why did it take a TV show, an anime, whatever? Why did it take that to get me to the place where I want to be able to have that kind of mindset, right? So there's lessons to be learned when it comes on to this stuff, and as I said, young people don't really have the ear. They just want to be entertained a lot of times. They just want to have fun, right? until the rubber meets the road later on in life when they realize, oh shit, I got to start taking shit seriously, right? But it is what it is. I said my piece. Yeah. So I'm gonna tune out. I'll see you guys. Um, if you don't, if I don't tune in again within a week, I'll see you on Saturday. All right. Peace out.